y'all. I have somebody so special with me here today. And she's like super famous, and she's a mentor and sister friend of mine, and also a New York Times bestselling author, and also the creator and founder of the Mindshare Health Biz Growth Academy.
You're merging everything.
I'm merging
now.
it all.
Yeah.
And my dog is barking.
Woof,
so this
woof.
is actually an excellent opening. Yes, I have the most amazing JJ Virgin is here in the studio, and we are talking about everything related to how to explode the growth in your business. JJ is a veteran, y'all, in health business and health marketing. I like to reference her as I think one of the nation's first personal trainers.
I am.
I think she is. She's the real deal. New York Times bestselling author, a multipreneur with her own brand, JJ Virgin, with supplements and books and programs, and then an entire coaching academy that helps doctors scale their business no matter where they are. JJ, hey girl.
Hello.
How you feeling?
I am great. I'm great now because we're out of the
You
big
survived.
storm surge. We
Yeah,
survived.
So you're down there in Florida. You were right in the path of Helene and of Milton. And I know you evacuated with Milton, right?
It was pretty interesting. We were leaving for the big event that we just both were putting on because you were my co-host.
Yes. We'll get into that.
The hurricane, we get evacuated the day we're coming to the event. So
it all worked out.
Yeah, it all worked out. Then we come home finally to relax and we get evacuated again.
And okay, so a burning question I think we all want to know, because I've never been in that, I have to run away from my house type of scenario. And I don't know what I would bring outside of my dogs. I didn't mention my children or husband first, but my dog definitely. What did you pack when you were?
The dogs definitely came first, I will say.
All three of them.
All three of those little doggies. So it is interesting because at first I literally was like, oh, well, I'm just going to leave everything. Then one of my friends who's been through another hurricane was like, you have to go walk through your house as if you're never going to see your house again. And I went, well, that changes the game. So I started in my closet.
Of course you did. How many shoes did you get?
Yes, I packed all my favorite shoes, all my favorite purses, and then some really expensive dresses and jewelry. So that was the first thing. Then I did take a Picasso because I have one.
You have a Picasso
I have
in the
one.
house?
Yes.
I would have taken that too.
Right,
Very
I did
smart.
that. Then I went over to the wine cooler and I took all the expensive wine. Okay, so now I've got shoes, purses,
dogs,
fancy dresses, dogs, and wine. That's what I have.
That's the makings of a good time.
Okay, so I brought some protein bars too. Then here's what Tim packed. So that's my side. Tim packs the espresso maker, the air fryer, and a huge cooler full of meat.
Oh my God.
Okay.
But the espresso and the air fryer, how did they you need power, first of all.
Right. Well, we had power for a while. Well, the espresso maker is $2,500. We didn't want to lose that. Oh, and I brought my podcasting stuff because I had to podcast from the Residence Inn where we were holed up. And we thought we had a big enough battery to power the espresso maker. We didn't.
Y'all are resourceful to even think like that.
We are, man. Well, we're used to that. We've done our share of camping expeditions. So that's what we did.
Well, I'm glad. How did your house is still standing? I know a car got damaged, but the house is still standing.
We lost a car. We lost some refrigerators. We lost a Traeger barbecue. But here's the reality. And I think this is the most important thing. And I've been watching in our WhatsApp thread, and it's so clear to me because when you look at business, you have to do what's called a SWOT analysis. I know you know what this is.
Of course.
Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And a huge threat is something like a hurricane if you have a business where you're making money in that brick and mortar and that's it. And it was interesting. We had a gal who'd come to the event that I was connecting with because she was in Asheville and she was freaking out because she has this $20 million valuation business in Asheville that's now ground to a halt. And I'm like going, all right, hold on, let's figure it out. And here's the thing. You don't want to figure it out when the storm has hit.
Amen.
That's not when you get the boat, right? And literally, in Tampa, people were kayaking through their living room.
Hilarious.
So you want to make sure you have the kayak already. So you look at this and go, you've got to make sure that we've already learned it from the pandemic. If your business is going to shut down, if people can't come into your business, that you still can run your business. So if you are doing everything right now, brick and mortar, figure out multiple streams of income and figure out some virtual ways to work with people,
Yeah.
because otherwise, you're in trouble.
That's a real thing though. So like I talk on this platform a lot about my big mistake. My $5 million mistake was my gym, which I already say I had no business running. And you know what exposed us was pandemic. We only had one income stream. We only had one way to help people get fit. We didn't even have the amplifiers and stuff to go along with it, with the products and the merchandise and the supplements and the things like that. So that like obviously we closed, and we've learned how to operate differently. Jamal's hybrid. He's
Yeah.
online now. We're doing all the things, but that learning period, it took 10 years literally of losing money consistently for me to learn that. Like that I want to talk about you, JJ, and your past experiences with business where it didn't turn out the way you wanted it to. And I
Got
know
so
you got
many of
many,
them.
so I want you to pick a good one for us, a juicy one, where it's not even like a rock bottom moment, but you just saw yourself just kind of spiraling like on that hamster wheel of staying stuck, of staying not profitable. And you have to kind of snap yourself out of it to get out.
I am going to go back to the gym industry, because the minute I heard gym industry, I'm like, oh gosh, I have PTSD.
My eye twitches. Yeah.
Yeah. And here's what was interesting. I'll tell you a little story. And I think that the takeaway from the story is know when to get out. And sometimes you have to leave something that's profitable to really make something super profitable. So I owned this gym and wellness center in Palm Desert, California, with my then husband, who is the nicest human being you'll ever meet and the worst employee business person on the planet. He would be the only one who would show up late. Just forget he had clients. And I'd be like, anyone else would have been fired. And then I had the wild idea, you know what I should do is I should launch a second business and have him run it, because he's so good at this one. And so we started a cuisine business.
You did?
And the funniest part was, because I grew up and I was teaching dance class and calisthenics, because we didn't have anything else back then.
Right.
And I was catering. I catered my way through UCLA and I taught aerobics. That's what I did. So I've always done both. And in fact, I had a company in Florida before that called Enlightened Gourmet, where I made the foolish mistake of going into business with the daughter of the Blockbuster Video heir. Like he was the Blockbuster Video.
So she didn't have she didn't want to hustle. She had no.
She was. I'd go, why is the office not open? Because she'd brought the assistant to her house to help her clean out her closet. I go,
she was just privileged. I love it.
I actually had to eat from what we were making, and she did not. And I went, oh, you know what? You got to have someone who actually is the same.
No, that's another big reason why partnerships and stuff fall apart, is because one partner's view or experience with money is different than the other. I had that exact same experience myself, and things fell apart.
Yeah, well, because we wouldn't know any different, because we're hustlers.
Mm-hmm.
And, I've made everything myself, wasn't given anything. I've always hustled. And I just figured everybody hustles.
No.
And so then you are with someone who is literally the daughter of a massive, back before Blockbuster went belly up, but it was the thing. And, they owned the Marlins and the Dolphins.
Oh, no.
It was quite crazy. It was quite a scene. So I'd already owned a catering business for a while, so it wasn't out of the realm, and here's a couple key points. Number one, I have this gym. By the way, I named the gym, ready? Asceo.
What is Asceo? How do you even spell it? How do you spell
that? The one positive note about this name is that it was first in the alphabet, Asceo, A-S-K-E-O. So in the phone book, because we used them back then, it would show up first. That was the only positive. What was it? It meant to form by art, to train. It was Greek for training. And I thought, oh, how cool. Make it a Greek theme.
Let's do that.
Stupid. I should just called it, Palm Desert
Gym. Like
Sunday. What is it? Name it what it is. So then I made the extra stupid mistake, since I already had Asceo El Paseo Fitness Center. I'll do Asceo Cuisine.
Oh, even more recognizable.
Even more recognizable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the reason I did the cuisine was because I asked all my clients at the gym, if they would love that. And they go, yes. I didn't say, would you pay for it? I just asked if they would like it. And they said, yes, we'd really like that. But they didn't want to spend the money. Do you know how expensive it is to do things like organic guacamole?
Oh my
And
God,
it
meal prep
spoils.
companies, I don't even know how they stay in business today.
Disaster.
Like,
Yeah. And they spoil, the food spoils. So
yeah.
it was, and then someone has to hustle and drive it all around. And you can just
And was that
imagine.
even your zone of genius, JJ?
Well, the food stuff, had I wanted to do it, I was going to go to culinary school. And I just think this is a dumb thing and I smell like food all the time. Yuck. And so we hired a chef who ended up running off with the business. So that was great. So that
You
whole thing
got this is all like a snowball of
I know.
events.
So that's happening. Meanwhile, my marriage is unraveling. And my then husband said, well, if you weren't at the gym, it would go much better. And so I started not like, I would only go 2 days a week. Well, if I wasn't there, the thing fell apart. And so I started building other things. And one of the things I was doing was teaching doctors how to put nutrition into their practices. And then I was also on Dr. Phil. So I was on Dr. Phil every week. So I was out in
And
LA
hustling in the gym.
and hustling. And then I had my own private celebrity clients in LA. So I've got all those things going. And I look at this and I go, this gym is actually just holding me down. Like it's actually, you can never at the time go, was this the best thing that could have happened? It really was, because that gym, I never would have ever, I was trapped. First of all, I can't stand being in the same place every day. Like I can't stand it. I wanted a laptop life before laptops. So I'm trapped in a gym from like 6 a.m., like awful, make me crazy. And it's Groundhog Day every single day.
You're giving me PTSD. Like literally right now, I'm like having to my foot is tapping.
I know your eyes twitching.
The eye is twitching.
But
That's
some people
real.
like that. I just don't.
Wasn't for
I
me.
want a new challenge every day. So bottom line is we moved the gym into another person's gym. Like we merged gyms and I started kind of
Easing out.
easing out of it and doing all this other stuff. And all of a sudden I turn around and go, if I hadn't managed to get out of that situation, I'd be trapped in this little gym, in this high rent area.
And thank goodness, because now outside of that, now we've got this amazing JJ Virgin brand, and we've got the Mindshare Health Biz Academy.
Like all this stuff happened because of that. Well, it happened because one of my then clients was like, you should, she was from New York. So she had a nutritionist in New York as well, this gal, Esther Blum. She goes, you should talk to her. So I call her on the phone so we can work together on the client. And she was part of buying her products from this company, Designs for Health. Then I started talking to them. Then I started going to their events. Then they wanted me to hold events. So I had an event with all these doctors. The whole thing, like you look at how it happens and you're like, it's the weirdest path that you could never orchestrate. But it all comes from just kind of this big vision idea and just taking the next step.
You and I would have never met if I didn't own a gym. Because we were connected initially because of the gym, and then when we started talking, you're like, I don't do that at all. You're like, wait a second, Lauren. But if I hadn't had that, and Angela didn't know that we were in the same fitness space, so I definitely am very, very grateful for that 10-year experience that I had. But honey, let me tell you, not having that thing, because I wasn't in the right seat. I wasn't in the right seat of the car. I wasn't in my zone of genius. And now, I'm able to kind of like live my truth. Like, what was that evolution like for you? You came out of the bad stuff, right? And
well, it's not like I came out of the bad stuff and that was the end of that.
I was like, just like that. Like it was like overnight, like Friday night was bad stuff and Saturday morning.
God, wouldn't that have been great if that had worked that way? So, I come out of all of that. Now I've got this celebrity clientele in LA. I'm on TV every week. I then get my own primetime pilot. I'm now writing books. I meet this guy. I write a book with him. I don't read the contract because he's a screenwriter. I'm the talent. This was my first book that no one ever saw. I write this book with him. We get an offer and we decide to self-publish instead after a conversation with Dr. Joe Mercola.
Okay.
And then we break up and I don't really think anything of it. And then I sell my next book and I get a thing from him saying, I have 50% right to everything you ever do.
That's not the way that's supposed to be, is it?
I'm going to show the contract that you signed to Simon & Schuster or pay me X. So I was totally like single mom, sole support for my kids,
Sure.
having to buy this dude out of a contract. Like, basically give him the money from the advance to make him go
To make
away.
them go away. Oh,
Unbelievable.
oh my God. I would
And
that
I believe in karma, so bless him on his path
Yeah, that's what we
to
say.
hell.
Like, but for everyone listening, when you're having like, these challenges with people, we don't wish people evil. We don't ever do that. We bless them on their
Mhm.
way out the door. We don't even say let the door knob hit you. Like we don't
Yeah.
even do
But
that.
here's you know what? Here's the thing with that. I would never have taken the minute that happened, I am so careful now with where's the contract? What did it say? Like, because,
Yeah,
it's like, the reality was it was an inexpensive lesson. At the
at the end
time,
of
it
the
was
day, right?
expensive, but
Yeah.
in reality, inexpensive lesson, and I just look at it and go, "Thank God." Whew. So, anyway, that started the whole, like, now I'm gonna do books and,
Yeah, and
you know,
like and be seen and become, the celebrity fit pro plus celebrity now like mentor and author and entrepreneur, and it's been just this amazing evolution, and you've settled in where you are, you mentor and support thousands of
which is the
doctors.
most fun, I gotta tell you. So, I still have my consumer brand because I'm very passionate about women really realizing that, 40 plus is the best time of your life and to get out of this whole, like, ageism thing. So, I'm
Mhm.
very passionate about that. And my personal brand is my testing grounds. Like, I don't know how people train and mentor on things that they are not
That
actually
they aren't
doing.
doing.
It makes me crazy. Like, you go to college and you've got a professor teaching on something he has never done. It's
It doesn't make any
bizarre.
sense,
Like,
right? And now here you are, you're actually modeling, the different like behaviors of a scaling, multi 7 figure, 8 figure business. You're modeling the behavior in all of your brands, to be quite honest, because you always, share. And what we're talking about, guys, is this amazing community of health business owners that JJ has created over, what is it, 16
12 years.
years?
12 years now. But I knew them all because I would go to these health conferences. So I was
Hmm.
going to A4M and IFM, all these different health conferences. So I met all these cool people. And at the same time, I still had my own business. And then I started going after when the whole online thing started to happen. I went, okay, this is my chance. And that's
Hmm.
when I started going and learning. And the first thing I did was go to a bunch of free classes. And
Teleclasses.
back then we had teleclasses. And I was reading books and going to free teleclasses, which I discovered gave me they gave you just enough to not quite be able to be successful.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so then I started saving up money to go to events and buying little courses, and that changed everything, but it was really focusing like I wanted to go online. I wanted to be online, right? And whatever we're doing now, you look at it and go, whether you have a brick and mortar or a full online business, you can't ignore the online side of things.
Like you could never ignore the online. That's how the majority of your like growth has been just with this amazing, massive online brand, right? Across two different brands.
Yeah. And I always had brick and mortar before. And here's what really happened. I was going to LA to see clients at one of my buddies. I had a doctor who had all these celebrity clients. And so I would go to LA to see his clients. He literally said, I'm not there Tuesdays. Use my office. Don't pay me anything. Just just see them. Right. And so I would charge them, but I would work through all the diet and lifestyle stuff. But here's what would happen. You know, Inevitably, someone can't come on Tuesday.
Of course. So what did you do?
Inevitably. So I was like going, and I kind of went, well, I'm not doing surgery. I'm just talking,
Right.
and so I thought I can do that over the phone.
Anywhere.
I don't have to do it. So it just was like this big duh epiphany. In fact, here's what's really funny about that. Even years earlier, and I'd forgotten I did this until I ran into her, this gal, Susan, who was a trainer. I was coaching her and I've like totally forgot I did this. She goes, yeah, you coached me on my fitness by phone business. I go, your fitness by phone business? She goes, yeah, you helped me set up this whole business where I could do fitness by phone and I sold it for $2 million. And I'm
Oh
like,
my
I
God.
did.
Fitness by phone. JJ.
Way back when. Well, here's what's funny. Way back when, this was 1996, I was up in North Carolina in a mountain because we left Florida and, we hadn't gotten back to California yet. And here I am pregnant with a baby. And I'm like, how the hell am I going to make money up here on the side of a mountain in Florida?
Right.
Or in North Carolina? And I thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'll do coaching. I'll just do coaching online. I'll just do by email. And that's what happened. I set up a whole coaching thing online by email, 1996.
So you were list building in the 90s.
I was just like, I've always looked for what's coming next.
Mm-hmm.
Like, training before there were trainers, teaching aerobics before there was aerobics.
Always just on the forefront. Yeah.
I used to, what was funny, but here's what happens, Lauren, if you don't figure that out, then someone else just takes the ideas and runs with it. And for so long, I was like going, miss that one. I used to have boxes I would bring to people's houses to have them step up and down and do step aerobics on.
Oh, were those the first risers that you didn't make?
But Jen Stevens Jen Miller ran away with, she did it. I didn't. I was like, oh, damn. Then I had my doctor clients gave me surgical tubing so I could have people use tubing.
Nice. And then those are the first resistance bands?
And I'm like, damn. So I kept watching this stuff going, damn.
So good grief. But even still though, you still stay on the, even with the Mindshare community, you still, you do your research and you're leading with AI these days. You're still ahead, trying to get ahead of the trend.
We're now really, what we've done is crack the code for predictable success. And I think that is the most important thing, because when you really look at our practitioners, they are practitioners who don't fit into the traditional model.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to fit in it. They might be stuck in the traditional model right now, but they realize that traditional healthcare is not healthcare.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Right? It's
not.
Care, and it's not where they want to be. But yet there's not the model for them to use to be able to build a business that not only is going to help them be successful and pay back their student loans, let's be honest, but also it's going to let them live the lifestyle that they're coaching their patients to live. That used to drive me
That's what
nuts.
it should be.
Right? You can't be stressed out, not able to exercise, not eating the quality food you want to eat and telling your patients to do that. They'll smell it on you. So we've got to get over this money thing that we have and realize that you've got to set up a business model where you can make what you deserve to be making and live a life that you want to be living while serving people at the highest level and changing health.
I want to stay on this for a minute. And for those that are listening, if you're driving and can't take notes, you'll be able to hop over to the show notes and see, links to the documents and things. But what JJ and her team have done, they've created this amazing pathway, this blueprint of sorts that kind of shows you.
It's not
but this isn't about me, girl. It's about you.
You're one of our key people here.
Yeah, I am so committed to this vision of helping literally as many practitioners as we can get our fingers on, just thrive, be successful, spread your message, make money. Those are the keys to life, right?
Yeah.
And this amazing model that JJ and the team, I'm also a part of this team, this Health Business Ascension Model, where she helps practitioners identify where they are in business to get to that pivotal, that peak, I have more time, more money, more impact. JJ, walk us through a few parts, how practitioners take this journey to get to the top of that model.
So I always like to start with, where are you now? And this may not be you, but you may go, oh, she gets me. I find a lot of people are what I call successfully stuck. They're making good money, but they can never leave. Because if they take vacation now, they're not making the money. So they're trading
everything
time for
relies
money.
on them.
They're kind of trapped. They're the focal point for their income. So that's one place you can get stuck. The other place that's really easy to get stuck nowadays is being what's called a poorly paid thought leader, where you're going out there, you're doing your podcast, you're doing your Instagram, TikTok, but you haven't put the things in place to monetize that message, to really be able to get that attention and do something with it. So that's the other piece. The other one I see is someone who's got this amazing idea, but they don't know, it's failure to launch. They don't know quite what to do with it, how to get it started, or maybe they spend a bunch of time and money making a course, but that's just sitting there because they
Yep.
don't know what to do with it. So those are like starting points that I see, and those people all jump into create. And when I look at a health business ascension model, and you'll kind of listen to this and go, where are you on this? And we can provide in the show notes the checklist, because
Yep.
we make checklists every step of the way, which I think is important because when you think about business, you want to make sure that you're doing the right thing at the right time in your business. I had a consultant come in because I was trying to figure out why am I stuck in my consumer business. And I had my CEO at the meeting, and I had my CMO at the meeting, and I had my CFO at
All
the
the
meeting, and I
C's.
had my COO at the meeting. And the guy looked at me and goes, you don't make enough money to have
The
a
C-suite.
C-suite.
C-suite. You have the full suite.
I had the full suite. I had the full suite. And because that's what I thought you did. You went and got the full suite. Well, I wasn't a $20 million business. I did not need a CEO, a CFO, a CMO, full-time people.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know. The swoop.
Yeah. I was
I
like,
get my
oh
foot
my
tapping again.
gosh. I kept going, where's the school that's supposed to teach me this stuff? That's what we put together, is really the school, the Health Biz Growth Academy, to teach you this stuff, starting with a very simple model where you start with create, really figuring out what that core foundational offer is based on the problem you solve, who you solve it for, and how you solve it, and then creating a business model that's going to fit with your lifestyle, your financial goals, etc. And that's really the launch pad for everything. And once you've got that clarity, it's like, man, then you can go out there with confidence. It helps you create some cash. And I love all the alliteration. So that's create. And then when you get that thing dialed, like you have something you can sell. And what we like to do is make sure that you can sell your thing, whether it's a high ticket offer or a membership or a VIP day, sell it to 5 warm leads. In person, you talking to them or on the phone, not an ad, not a recording. You actually have to be able to do this, because if you can't sell your thing to a warm audience, no ad's going to do it for you.
Not a single one. Can't sell to warm traffic. Cold is going to be much, much worse.
Yep. And so we don't like to do that because someone's going to say no to us.
We don't
And
like
that
that.
sucks.
We don't like that.
But it's when you're first selling that, whatever that first thing is, it's fantastic because you're getting so much market research. You're going to hear all their objections. You're going to hear what they would love, what are their burning desires, and that's going to help you like with where you go next with all your marketing and messaging. And once you know that it will fly, you've proven it, then you can go and optimize it.
Mhm.
So now you can start to build all the tech and the team and the tools. And this is the important part, because if you create something and you don't move into optimize, you're getting to straight overwhelm, where all of a sudden you're making money and you've got some leverage, but you're going to get yourself stuck
We're
again.
back on the hamster wheel
You're gonna
again.
right stuck again. So
Mhm.
you move into this, and this is really that ability in optimize to shift to working on your business, because you've got now team working with you, tools and tech working for you. And the more tech and tools, the better, because team takes time off. And
I
team
can't
has
say
like
that 3 times fast. Tech
issues.
and tools.
And team,
And team. Take time off.
team takes time off. Team has hurricanes. Team is like,
They
I
do.
had a team member. I was like, so are you coming in today? She goes, I'm trying to find gas. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. We don't have gas in our gas stations now in Tampa. There's that problem. So, that's the really important shift to working in your business to on your business
Mhm.
is a huge one. And all of that has to be in place before you scale.
Do y'all hear that? That means you create the thing, you prove it can fly a little bit by selling to that warm audience, right? And then you optimize it to scale. You don't do it backwards.
Yeah,
Because I
I
think,
did it
JJ, what
backwards.
happened when you did that backwards?
Yeah, I did that backwards. That was awesome. So I watched a business go from 1 million to 2 million in like 2 months, to 6 million, to 10 million, back to 8 million. I was like, boop, boop. I was like, okay. And meanwhile, we are trying, it's like a hose turned to full blast with leaks, and you're duct taping all over the place. And every time you duct tape one, a new leak springs up. And that's when I thought I'll get the CEO and the CMO and the CFO and they'll fix it. Nope. They just cost a lot of money and wanted bonuses for things they hadn't done. I'm like, oh my God, get me out of this. So, you've got to optimize first. It
'Cause
feels like
the story that strikes that I remember from all of the fun stories you said about your mishaps in business is when you were
Mhm.
selling the shakes. It
Oh
was like
boy.
your first iteration, I think, of the Virgin Diet shake, I
Yeah.
believe.
So, and they were, by the way, so the Virgin Diet book was coming out. And in the book, it says you have to start your day with the Virgin Diet shake. So I made the Virgin Diet shake, and there was nothing
That was
like it at the
smart.
market at the
That
time.
was smart.
Nothing. So no competition, Blue Water, make the shake, except the freaking company was a month late in putting it out. So the book comes out. I'm like, great, And then, so I said, all right, listen, when we go to do this, I'm going to do a promotion to my list. I'm going to be on Rachel Ray, and I've got PBS, like I think it was the Today Show too.
Like you're
Everything was
launching,
going
you're fully
at
launching.
once. I
Mhm.
go, are you ready? Oh, yeah, we got it. I go, no, are you really ready? We sold out of that, like $500,000, boom, gone. And 3 weeks it took them to ship all the
To
orders because they weren't
fulfill.
ready. But they didn't believe me. And so meanwhile, I didn't have a customer service plan
'Cause you weren't
whatsoever.
optimized, is that why?
No, because I had my assistant who would answer all the emails, you know?
Mhm.
So all of a sudden, and I, at the time, I was still in the hospital with my son who had nearly died right before the launch. So we're
Mhm.
in ICU. So I'm in the ICU. And I get a little call from my assistant who doesn't want to say anything because I'm in the ICU. So she doesn't want to tell me. She finds like, I got 300 emails overnight.
Oh,
I'm like,
Lord.
what?
Lord, help us all.
What do we do? So anyway, we put a customer service platform into place quickly, but like that's not the way you do it. That's the bass backwards way to do it. But I, again, at the time, all I ever wanted, Lauren, was what we now have put together, the create, optimize, scale, that
Mhm.
scaling to sustainable, saleable success that we all want. All I wanted was that model, and it didn't exist. And what's been so fun to watch is to watch us help practitioners go through this all the way up
Yeah.
to scaling,
Yeah.
all the way up to these multi 7 and 8-figure businesses and know it's predictable.
Because once
And
you get up to the scaling of this income stream, what happens? You go right back down and you create your next income
if
stream.
you want to, so some people, they get up to the thing and they go, like, we had one person who was like, okay, I'm going to move to Minnesota,
Yeah. Build a
hang out
farm.
and build farm. We had another one sold their business. Like, okay, I'm going to go take time off. Then they come back, they're like, I'm bored. I'm like, I told you.
Let's create something else, right?
What do we want to
That's
create now? And yes, you go back. You're like, okay, I know how to do this. Like, I know how
but
to do
that's
this.
the
It's very
cycle of
predictable.
business though, that we all should want to be on. Not the cycle where you're just running in place, right? And staying the same and you don't
Right.
have more money and more time. That's not the one.
Well, where every day's the same. You know exactly what you're going to make. So you have to budget. Budget just,
We don't like that.
I was at an entrepreneurial conference and they had David Bach come and speak. I'll never forget. It was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. I felt so bad for him. He's such a nice guy. He's the guy that talks about that Oprah cappuccino thing where you could save money by not having your cappuccino every day. And I'm like, I want my cappuccino.
Yeah, like what?
Like the Starbucks thing. And so he's talking it through the Starbucks thing. And these are all entrepreneurs. They're like, just make more money. Right. And he said something about this and who all's going to do the Starbucks thing and who's with me, and no one raises their hand.
Oh,
Like
Lord.
no one. Because we're all like, we'll just sell another thing.
We just
want
want
our
to make more money.
Starbucks.
Yes. Yes.
We don't live in this limitation of you can either spend it on Starbucks or save it. We live in abundance. Like,
So with that same energy, JJ, our audience here is practitioners. It's health entrepreneurs. Give them just one nugget. If they could do one thing in their business different today that will have a different outcome tomorrow, what is that one thing for them to do, JJ?
it's actually not a strategy.
Okay.
I think the most important thing that you can do is really get serious about your big vision, especially for the next 3 years. Get so clear. Now, realizing that it's going to amplify as you go, because right now you're going to limit yourself. The only limitations truly are the limitations in your mind. And no matter how much you try to say, oh, I'm like going to think big, you don't. We always sit there and this other side goes, oh, you really can't do that. So you create a really big vision, bigger than you think possible, makes you a little sick, a little nauseous when you think about it. Big one.
That's the right one. If it makes you sick,
Big one.
that's the right one.
And then you get some people close to you who are growth-minded, positive, people that you trust and you get and share it with them, right? And then every day you look at that and you take a step towards it every day. What do I need to do today that's going to take me closer to that? Because quite often, a lot of the things that will come up, because all these opportunities start to come up. The minute you get a big vision and you start to get very positive and focus and take forward action, then tons of things start coming up, right?
Yeah.
95% of them, maybe 99% are complete distractions, taking you down side roads, et cetera. And the biggest challenge an entrepreneur has is staying on that path.
That is, you just summed it right on up. Like, y'all, you are hearing literally from one of the most brilliant minds in health business growth. This is JJ Virgin. She has built businesses. She's lost businesses. She's got businesses back. She's scaled them. She's helping individuals like you and me think bigger and imagine ourselves growing beyond our wildest dreams and actually doing the thing. JJ, you are such a delight. You know, you're my girl, and I will ride with you forever into the sunset. And I want you to please just let people know where they can find you. We're going to make sure all the stuff is in the show notes. But if they want to just find out more about you, how can they do that?
So I think it'd actually be very fun for them to find out more about where they are in their business. So I love if we give the Health Business Ascension Model and the checklist. So that'd be great. You can put that in the show notes.
Absolutely.
We've moved everything to healthbizgrowthcollective.com. Now we are in the process, and we always like to do things in broad daylight so people can see how we're doing it. We're rebranding the Mindshare Collaborative to what it is, Health Biz Growth. When it first started, it purely was a small group of people mind sharing. And that is a piece of it, but we've got a bigger mission now to really help 10,000 practitioners build and scale their health businesses. So,
yes, y'all.
That's the name. And then over on the consumer side, it's jjvirgin.com.
Yes.
That is the company that was sold and bought back. So now we are going through that process.
And I promise you all, like, go and just consume her content, dive in. She's a brilliant, brilliant mind, and even a better soul if you get to know her personally. And if you are a health entrepreneur, the Health Biz Academy is the MBA that you never got. It is.
Yes, it is.
You know, they don't teach you those things, you know, in med school and all the things, but we got the resources and the tools for you. So I want you guys to just hop on over to microsite.com. That's where you're going to find the show notes. We're going to give you that health business growth checklist so you can find out where you are.
Health Biz Growth.
Health Biz. She doesn't have to correct me every time.
Academy, Health Biz Growth Checklist. We are working on our marketing and our messaging.
Like as we speak, like this is happening. Meta, right?
They've been correcting me because I keep going business. They're like, it's
I keep
biz.
saying business too, but biz is easier to say and actually sounds
and
more
growth
marketable.
Always comes with it. And that's important because that's what we're really helping people do is grow their health business.
Grow their business. We do not want to stay stuck. We are the opposite of that. We want growth.
Well, guess what? If you're staying stuck, you're actually declining. You must have your business must be growing 20% a year or you're in deep doo-doo.
Yeah, and we don't want that, right? Mm-hmm. So this is awesome, y'all. Thank you so much for your time. You know, I love you, JJ. Holla at me on Instagram at I am Lauren Powers. Until next week, y'all. Grow that biz. Grow that health biz. I'll see you next time. Thanks, JJ. Hey, y'all. Thanks for tuning in to Power Moves Health Marketing Podcast. If you're ready to transform your practice with smarter strategies and cutting-edge tools, I want you to head over to microsite.com to book a strategy session with me and my team. While you're there, check out the show notes for links, resources, and my free Power Moves playbook. Remember, every move you make is a step toward becoming the health business leader you're meant to be. Let's keep building your momentum.